Hey everybody, once again it is Ben Pizak aka Mr. Mile 101 with a comic book review on J.W. Rinsler's, as you guessed from the title, The Star Wars Issue 1. Sorry for the light issue. Now, in case you don't already know, it is based on George Lucas's original rough draft screenplay from the year 1974. But before I can recap on that, I just wanted to give you a few things to recap it. Years ago, the same author wrote another book I got for Christmas about how the first Star Wars movie was made. And a few pages I won't show you do have mention of this rough draft. And about the same time, Rinsler went to the vault to see the rough draft screenplay, and he asked Lucas if he could do a comic adaptation on it. And he was like, I don't know. And then after Mike Mayhew made a few really good pages, really good surreal pages. Mike Mayhew has a drawing technique where he makes everything look surreal, like you're reading a 1940s sci-fi serial or whatever. He apparently made a few images, showed them to Lucas, and they gave him the okay. Simultaneously, when this was announced at WonderCon 2013, I began reading another Star Wars series, which I will go in depth later on in a future review. Apparently, I started reading that, and shortly thereafter I found out about this one. Issue 7 for this series even had a preview for the comic, which that summer I was highly anticipating. This came out September 4th, 2013, and I got on the first day it was released on my second day of high school. That was one of the main things I was anticipating that year. In fact, I was anticipating it since spring break, meaning I've planned for months just to save $4 to get this comic. Now, I took it out of the casing, which it came in since I pre-ordered it a week early, and I will give you a few good images of it. Here, they give us a good roll-up opening crawl, again, like the Star Wars series in a 1940s serial, and they give us a few other good things with a surreal drawing look. Here is the first page, which was first shown at WonderCon 013, and here's some dialogue. Now, from what I heard, J.W. Rinsler had a really hard time making this comic in terms of visualization and dialogue because he had to cut down a few lines. In fact, when I read issue 3, I was somewhat disappointed because there was supposed to be one scene. It was actually kind of boring, so I didn't really care. There was supposed to be one scene taking place between two other scenes on one page that was taken out. And at the end of that issue, there wasn't really a battle scene. However, there was a battle scene, which I didn't really read the script. I mean, when I read both the comic and the script, I got confused. So I was a little disappointed with that. But the first issue, when it came out, was pretty good, and I'd have to give it like a 9 out of 10. I'm also going to give you a few good other images. And this will take a sec. Apparently during summer, this was the preview we got with it. And I thought it was really cool. In fact, when I was in the car, I didn't read the actual comic. I just kept reading the preview over and over again. Can't lie. There is also a few good, interesting characters. Say here, this is Darth Vader. Of course, he's not wearing a mask. This is pretty much how Lucas envisioned him in 1974. He is an Imperial general. And from an interview I read, the author says this is supposed to be an earlier version of Jabba. This isn't Jabba, but he's supposed to be an earlier version of it. And here's another page I got from the preview. In fact, this preview dates back to May 4th, 2013. Here's our first look at General Luke Skywalker. Thought it was pretty cool when I first saw that picture. And here we get Princess Leia, who is 14 and not supposedly 19, as in the film that came out in 77. And we also get a few other characters and a few other images that are larger than life. Like this one. Imagine seeing that on the silver screen in 74. And of course, I really love how it says next, like it's one of those 1940s serials. Very good. That character I just showed you was Kane Starkiller. He is the father of our lead character. And our character is this guy. Anakin Starkiller, who is supposed to be a mixture of Han and Luke. And I've really got nothing else to say about this issue, other than the fact that instead of a letters page, we didn't get letters at the time, we got a behind-the-scenes page. Two of them, actually. Two other ones, actually. That was the page for the Star Destroyer. Here we get things like the Imperial Capital and the Imperial Air Tanks. Now, I believe this was supposed to be for a comic that was supposed to come out about now called The Star Wars Zero, which is a behind-the-scenes comic. Now, because of holiday scheduling, I have not picked it up yet, but I will pick it up eventually. And it does give you a few more other good things, such as the characters and other things like the Aquila Fighters and pretty much everything else that appears in the comic as so far. Now, honestly, there isn't much else in the comic I have to look over, but here's usually the opening page where it explains like a recap or whatever. This isn't a recap, it just explains here that back in 1974, still years before a film called Star Wars would take the world by storm, George Lucas completed the first rough draft screenplay of what was then called The Star Wars. Now, a few other things I have to look forward in depth to is the cover. Now, this is the regular Variant A cover. There were two other variant covers that are rare and I couldn't find. You could find them on eBay for a really hard price, like a really large price. In fact, I'm not gonna lie, there was like 7 different variants of the cover. And I think that was pretty weird. But this was in anticipation, so what the heck. As you can see, the cover for issue 1 is a homage to this Star Wars poster right here. Sorry I couldn't get a good picture of it, but that's how it is. And the logo, which again I first saw at WonderCon, is pretty much, very few of you noticed, it's pretty much the logo used on the 1978 re-release poster. It's $1 and it's $4. It's issue 1 and it's $4, probably because of the laminated cover and the fact that this is an adaptation of the rough draft screenplay. Just thought I'd let you in on those. Apparently, it is January where issue 0 is supposed to come out, and honestly, I have nothing else to say about this comic. I'd have to give it 9 out of 10. There are a few things I could nitpick, but everything else just was perfectly fine. So until next time, may the Force be with you. Logging out.